Nope.
You better not content ID match me.
I don't know what it is. Whenever I'm streaming, Chucha always just decides to clean and have her music loud.
RTK,
She doesn't wanna
find your
hear you.
address. You're safe for now.
I'm safe for now?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I found one person in a town near you with a very similar name, but not you.
Do you know my name?
Yes.
What is my name?
You've come up on Facebook like 100 times.
Oh, shoot.
Because we have like 5 mutual friends.
I hate Facebook.
She's gonna dox me.
I would never. Notice that you asked me for your name and I didn't even say it.
I think most of my YouTuber audience knows my name.
We still respect that.
Yeah.
We respect the privacy. For the most part.
Well.
Unless it's Michael, in which case,
RTK, I can
who
tell
in
this
chat
is
wants
making-
Michael's address?
I can tell this is making you comfortable or uncomfortable, RTK. Don't worry, I don't respect anything about you.
There we go. That's what I like. That's what I like to
See,
hear.
now he's back in his comfort zone.
Should not respect me. I'm not a respectable person. The type of debauchery I get into, you would not believe.
Debauchery.
Debauchery!
Oh, wait, Sandra.
What do they do in that episode? They go for the panty raid or something?
You talking about SpongeBob?
I sure am, yeah.
I didn't know that they said debauchery in that.
They do, yeah. Oh, by the way, Lauren, good luck. My father has the exact same name as me.
There were a couple people with the same name that were like in their 60s.
No, my father is 65, so...
Oh my god, I'm going to his house instead, I guess. It's the only address I can find.
Your dad's older than mine!
Yeah, my mom and dad have a 10-year difference.
Oh wow.
Yeah. My wife
Was
and I
that
have
Pixelmon
a...
last time we were talking about that?
I
Or was that
wasn't
one of
here.
my... That might have been
here.
me doing a normal stream. Talking, someone in chat was like, I have a friend who's dating someone 10 years older, and he was like, I don't know how to feel about it. And I was like, I don't think it's that
My
weird.
wife is 5
grandparents have
years older than I am.
My grandparents have about a 10-year difference. I think it's 8 years, and they've been happily married for about 40 years. I think I said 50 during that stream, but then after stream I was like, there's no way it's 50. My grandfather is only 72. That can't be right. And then I think they're coming up on like 42 years. Or
I mean,
something.
there's definitely
I
a
mean, it really
level
just
of
depends on when
like...
you meet, like how old you are. when you
Yeah, it can really depend on kind of also like dynamics behind it and the point
If it's a
of life.
5-year difference and one of you is 18 and the other is 23, that's a little different than if you're like 25 and 30.
13 and 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think it depends on maturity level. Like I
For
don't
sure.
think you should, like, if you knew the person before they were 18, probably don't try to date them.
Yeah, no, that's it. Whenever you have some, that's kind of a, yeah.
But like, you
Jet
know,
went through so many different facets of wanting to make a point and thinking better of it, like 4 different times in that stretch of speech.
Yeah.
There's someone who
Age
recently is
gaps
getting
maybe.
roasted on
Eh.
like TikTok and Twitter for trying to pretend that it's like normal for them to be 18 in a relationship with a 33-year-old who knew
I was
them
literally
in
just about to bring this up,
like
Michael.
musical theater when they were like 13.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
guy has known his now wife, who is 18. This guy's 33. He's known her since she was 13, and they're like, no, he didn't groom me. This is a completely normal relationship.
Somebody bury me. I'm dead.
There's
That's
plenty of sand,
awful.
just start digging.
Lauren, bury me.
Okay.
I give up on this world. Don't actually bury me. I'm not done yet.
We'll put away the shovel then, I guess.
Yeah, put away the shovel. Oh my gosh.
yeah,
It does ultimately kind of depend, because I do feel like when it's gross is when like the the elder is clearly doing it to have take advantage of the younger, because the younger doesn't either know enough about the world or is just in a different, is just isn't able to stand on equal footing with the person that's older. It's
Michael,
like
what
as long as the, go ahead.
Go ahead. I thought you were done.
I was just gonna say, as long as like there's at least some equivalence, like you're not like, because the problem is when you're older, you often have more money, you often have, well, first you obviously have more experience, and
Hey, some younger
So it
people
could
are
just be-
looking for that. Some people are
well,
interested
yeah, no,
in
it's
that.
and
There's
that's
nothing
true.
wrong
It's just
with
a
that.
matter of just making sure that it doesn't become like something where it's obvious like they're taking advantage of something,
What are you
because
doing
that's the big thing.
I thought you were asking me something.
Oh, it had nothing to do with you coming to my location.
Okay.
I was gonna say,
I'm
what does it
trying
mean
to
when
figure out
some-
how to put it. No, go ahead. Sorry, I'm done.
I was gonna say, what does it mean when someone in my chat says "world download?" question mark question mark? Is that something other Minecraft tubers do? They just have their world like on MediaFire somewhere, ready to download or something?
Yeah, I think sometimes they do.
Interesting.
Maybe
I don't
when
do
we're
that,
like
so there
all
is
the
no world
way
download.
done. I mean, you've got all the,
How
the,
do you-
the
you know
footage
what-
of our world. Just go recreate it yourself.
Yeah, just do it yourself, forehead. How do you guys feel about what was it, Leonardo DiCaprio?
Anytime someone turns
Yeah,
25, he breaks
whenever,
up with them.
whenever his girlfriend turns 25, well, time for a new one.
He's a menace to society.
He's a good
Yeah, he's
actor.
kinda
He needs to
weirdo.
stop.
He is a good
He
actor.
is a good actor, but man, I didn't actually know about that, but man, that's.
I didn't know about it until the most recent one, and then people were like, "Yeah, he's done this like 4 times." I'm like,
Oh,
Yeah.
do you think he does it
That's-
intentionally? Do you think it's just like
I
something?
feel
He's now
like
done it like
after
4 or 5
four-
times. There's something
It's
going
like-
on
it's
there.
not-
Maybe it's
Yeah, when
not
it's-
conscious, but there's something that he's got going on in his brain.
Yeah, when it's 4 times, you gotta be like.
Leonardo's over there like, it's nice for all these women to have very easy to notice expiry dates on them based on their birthday
Yeah, it comes written on their forehead. Interesting.
in the shape of an L.
Uh-oh.
Well,
The years clearly don't stop coming.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I saw someone joke that he's actually just helping them because he gets so sad when he finds women who aren't old enough to rent a car yet, so he helps them out until they can.
Aw.
Oh yeah, I saw that meme. That's good. Hey Shroom,
Mm-hmm.
after you and Lauren are done with this
I think
spot,
it's
next spot we
literally
definitely
dumb.
need is like this bottom left corner and then just further south again.
Dumb that you
What were you
cannot rent
saying?
a car if you're under 25.
I think you can. It's just more expensive because I did. It was just more
Or
expensive.
you might just need like a cosigner or something.
The one time I rented a car was when I went to Hawaii, and they advertised it on their website as $700 for the entire week. And then when I got there, they're like, "Oh yeah, $1,300." I'm like, "Why?" It was the
Expensive.
That's crazy.
dumbest
Yeah,
thing.
they're crazy. They all kind of suck. Like I had to do my last site visit at my previous job. Like they gave us a car that smelled absolutely horrible, and when we went to trade it in, they're like, "Oh yeah, we have a location at like this strip mall." We go in, and it's like, it is the most janky office I've ever seen. Like it would be something right out of a book of a possible scam. But they're like, "Oh yeah, no, this is an office. We just don't have a car that can replace yours." So we had to go all the way back to the airport in the first place. It was like, why didn't we just go back to the airport in the first place? Why did we waste time diverting to here? Fortunately, we were still going in the same direction, so we didn't lose too much time, but it was still such a pain in the butt.
What a waste.
Mhm. I mean, at least we got it. Like, I know there's some cases where, like, they'll hold people hostage, like, and, like, like you said, they'll hike up the price.
Yeah,
And they'll be like, what are you gonna do? Pay it or you're just gonna be stuck here?
I'll go to a different rent-a-car place at the airport, man. They literally
Yeah.
had 6 in Hawaii.
Yeah,
I
think
imagine
a lot
Hawaii,
of them
that's
are.
probably a decent business to be in.
Yeah, you're not usually bringing your car to Hawaii, I feel.
Yeah.
You can't really road trip over there.
What, do you think I
Dude,
can't
that
get
just
my
reminded
plus
me
one?
of another. That just reminded me of another Who's Line bit that I was watching the other day. It was oh, what was it? It was like unlikely things to read when driving into a new state. Like they have like the welcome to the state or whatever. And then I think it was either Colin or Ryan. I think it was Colin again. He was driving it. It's like, Hawaii, how did you drive here?
That's great.
More dome. More dome.
Did you finish that one?
Yeah.
Theoretically, this one would be the oval.
This one will be the oval.
If you want to go for it. If you want to just do a dome again, I'm fine with that.
How big are we talking with this oval? And also, which is the wide way?
This would be the wide side connected to this.
Uh-huh.
And then the narrow ends would be west and east, and they would need to be... The narrow ends would need to be large enough for me to put one of these at both of them.
Alright.
Are you going to do the oval?
I'll attempt.
I'm going to take this one, maybe even two more, if you're going to oval it.
I'm sorry, I have to ask a question. Lone Wolf said in chat that his parents were 17 years apart. I have to know how old your parents were, Lone Wolf, because that is kind of scary.
That's a
lot.
big gap.
The thing is when you talk about stuff like this, you know, sometimes it, like, works out. So, like, it can be hard sometimes to be like, they shouldn't have done that. But then, like, well, they've been in, like, a loving relationship for, like, 30 years and had, like, 6 kids. So, what are you gonna say to that?
I mean...
Chaos, how wide do you think it should be? Give me, like, an estimate.
I don't understand the question.
How wide do you want the oval? Do you want it from, like, here to, like, here? Or is that too big? Is that too small?
No, that looks pretty good, actually.
Alright.
If you can make it work that way. I mean, like, whatever you need to do to make the sizes of the glass pathways work.
I mean, that would work. No, I think that would work. It might look...
Alright.
Yeah, I think that'll work.
I gotta come over here and help you guys with the sand, because we gotta go get south of RTK, because he's about to hit a non-flat location.
Which is... Oh, south. Okay, so we gotta go
40
south.
and 23 is, I think that's fine. That's like you're graduated college, you're an adult.
Yeah.
What do a 40-year-old and a 23-year-old have in common? Tell me right now. What do you have to talk about?
What does anyone have in common? Just whatever they like, right?
Stop saying numbers, I'm trying to count. Shut up.
You mean to tell me that, like, you've never met a 23-year-old that was into stuff that, like, existed 10 to 15 years ago that would have been in the heyday of the 40-year-old?
I mean, to be fair,
Like, music specifically is what comes to mind?
Yeah, if I met someone who's like 20 years older than me and I wasn't married and they were like super into guitar and cello and like singing and stuff, we'd probably have a lot in common and I probably would be interested in them.
I really can't. Admittedly, now that Chaos points that out, Knight Rider is 40 years old, so.
Yeah, there you go.
So.
Just doesn't feel right to me.
I mean, yeah, I
as long
do
as
agree
they
that it
actually
does.
like each other, then
Yeah, as long as
That's
there's
fair,
not
I
like.
wouldn't- Hey, Lone Wolf, did your dad hold your mom at gunpoint and say, marry me when she was 23? Like, are you sure
That's
they
not
actually like each other?
usually how it works, and that's not usually the concern with It's just. It's really hard to explain because it's such a nuanced problem, and it's hard to just say it. Like, it definitely works in cases. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be
That's
all
what
like,
they have in common.
What?
Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one.
That is great. Universal
I don't know. I
experience.
kind of look
Yeah.
at it where I think it was you who was saying it earlier, Lauren. That thing you were talking about. If the person is I even hesitate to say 18. I might say 20, but 18 is like legal adult age basically. But if someone is 18 or older, like at that point, age is but a number in my world. But also,
You misunderstood what I said. I was saying that an 18 to 23-year-old is probably not great.
I misunderstood what you said, but I think that's what I think. But if they knew the person for years leading up to them becoming 18, then age is no longer but a number because you knew them before they were 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also like, then there's the
But I mean, like,
big factor of
I'm pretty sure my grandmother was 18 and my grandfather was like 26, and
True,
they
but that was
had
a
an
very
amazing
different time,
Yeah, I mean, that is fair.
and they got lucky. A lot of women, especially in our grandparents' generation, got into
Did
a
not
marriage
get-
when they were too young, and it was not good.
Yeah, it's all I've like, yeah. Cause that's all they kind of had. They were just kind of stuck, and there was no way out. And when you're that young, and like, and I mean, especially nowadays, like back then, like marriage was kind of their only way up, depending on the generation. Because I think it was like the 70s when there was a resurgence in women working.
Coincidentally,
And
that's also the time when the most serial killers happened.
Why do you know that?
60s and 70s were the heyday
One
of
of the
serial
only
killers.
times I wish I had a face cam. If you could have seen the face I made when RTK dropped that little fun fact.
What face did you make?
I think you can probably picture
I watch
it.
I watch a lot of
guess,
true
but now
crime
I'm
stuff,
curious.
Chaos.
It was a classic, like, I squinted, like, I made, like, a frown that was somewhat a smile and, like, leaned back, like, shaking my head. Like,
Dude, I watch a lot of true crime.
can
That's
picture
all I
that.
gotta say.
There's a reason I stopped watching true crime, because it just got But
Anyway, very nuanced, but this is probably a topic that we should just drop.
yeah.
The further it's talked about.
3, 4, 5, 6. Nummel, get out of the way. There's a Bidoof here? Alright, he can stay.
Does it have a hat? Is it
No,
shrooms?
no. But he can stay.
Bidoof probably spawns at the river biome that we're near because Bibarel is a water type.
No. Shh, stop doing 360s, man. Get out of here.
You're just jealous.
He's trying to 360 no scope.
In my COD days, I used to do that all the time. I was a tryhard.
This reminds me I'm not. So what's an old video game that like
Final Fantasy VII.
is? I was gonna say. Like, isn't like wildly acclaimed, but like you love it for various reasons.
Rec 2.
What? Which is
I was about to say that's not old, but for you, I guess it would be.
Well, I don't like anything that's like old and not critically acclaimed. I don't really play old video games.
I agree with what you just said, and also as I've played more games like from the 90s era, the more I'm like, man, I'm glad I grew up in the early 2000s because that's when games like started to get their groove.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not talking like old like Tetris 90s.
Well,
Jet News
also-
only
you're
Atari
talking about
games.
like you're talking about the 90s.
I mean, I meant more like just old games from like your childhood that weren't like wildly acclaimed but you loved.
Well, Michael's answer, because he's young, was Shrek 2.
Yeah.
Which he made me, Sly, and RTK play, and I remember playing it when I was a kid and not liking it, and lo and behold, I didn't like it upon a replay either.
It's a great game. Fun for the
Couldn't
whole
actually
family.
hear what you said the first time, but
Fun.
now I'm like, oh yeah, I've actually
There
played
was
that one. That one's
a
okay.
game I played for the Game Boy, based on anime called Shaman King, and the first one I didn't like very much, but Shaman King 2.
It wasn't based on anime, it was based on the anime Shaman King.
What he said.
I thought he said based on anime called Shaman King.
Yeah, the anime is called Shaman King.
Yeah,
Okay, you know what, just continue. People who understand language know where I was
and
going.
that game, sick.
This guy thinks W is a vowel.
What's the point of having the letter C? There are other letters that do exactly what C does. What's the point of having
Yeah, we
C?
don't need C.
What?
What makes you pick C over K in this instance? Why get rid of C when you can get rid of K instead?
Because
Well, I mean,
C also has the S thing going on, so like,
Yeah.
kill two birds with one stone.
We already have S and K. Why do we need one?
You should be more like. You should look at the what's the word? Not proficiency.
Efficiency?
The efficiency of C being able to do both of them. Instead of removing the one C that does both, remove K and S, because obviously they're unnecessary. C can do it all.
If you look at
I
it
think
that
we should
way,
bring back the thorn.
the
The
what?
what?
It's the thorn. It's TH.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I don't.
What?
The old
I wonder
English.
if you can type it in Minecraft.
Go for it. Try it.
RTK couldn't get rid of the letter K because then he'd just be RT.
Yeah, that's true. Or he'd have to be
That's
RTC,
like a rapper name.
and that doesn't feel right.
But he can't get rid of a C or a K. You have both of them in your name.
Thorn.
Yeah, that's a thorn.
You lagged my game when you
Look,
typed that.
why do I even need the C in my name? Why is that necessary? Why do you need C and K in my name?
Why are you necessary as a person?
Do you want this oval or not?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure Shroom could do it better.
Maybe.
Actually, I should probably get Michael on it. He did really good with that wall earlier, so he might be
Yeah.
able to translate that to ovals.
I have put more sand down on this level than anybody here today. Don't test me.
I would love to see the stats.
What?
I didn't realize we were doing a sand scoreboard.
We're not, but if Michael's gonna be like that, then
Hey, that time it wasn't even
Although-
me who did it. It was chaos.
it was you by extension.
5,
That's
6.
fair.
You're the one that made it possible.
That's true.
You got it started.
Whoops, my
Ha,
buttons
Got it
backwards.
started in here. Did you break all those blocks right next to me? Was that you?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I thought the game super lagged, and then you started talking. I was like, no, it's just Michael. Causing problems.
Just me.
1, 2, 2. Geodude, I
Dave?
will smite
Mhm.
you.
Can you turn around really quick?
Hey, Shroom, where are you? Shroom.
I'm in one of the many pits. I'm by the river.
All right, let's take a sabbatical on this right now. Come back to this later. We need you over here.
For
Wait.
reference, Lauren, eventually we're gonna need this sort of some of these lines, like terraformed to gradually go down to the river.
That's what I was about to ask. Was I was gonna build this line up and then terraform it out to the river, but I wanted to
All right,
make sure that
I'm
this
also
line
I'm also
looked good.
conscripting you. This is a later job now. Because if you come
Okay.
over here and look at this mountain's got to go.
2.
You see this oval right here?
Yeah.
There's a line coming straight out of here to become a dome over there.
What? So this way, where I'm flying.
Yeah, this entire structure has got to be taken down.
Easy.
You gonna TNT it again?
Yep.
That's exactly what he's gonna do. I knew that's why I wanted Shroom majorly, and then I saw Lauren was over there, and I was like, we also need more southern. placement.
I'm hoping this won't lag things, but you know.
You know what will be will be.
One game that I played that's old and I mean isn't critically acclaimed, but I love it is they made a Powerpuff Girls GameCube game called Powerpuff Girls Relish Rampage.
I
Love
miss the
that.
days of mostly THQ Nordic, but like companies in general making movie spin-off games that were usually very hit or miss, but when they were good, they were good.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun except for like there was a really awful escort mission, I remember, but otherwise like it was great fun to like fly around Townsville and screw around and fighting pickle aliens.
Need to play
It was
the old
just, like,
Jimmy Neutron games on the channel sometime. Michael, we gotta do Tak and the Great Juju Challenge.
Oh yeah, the Jimmy Neutron games were also really good.
Some of them were.
Yeah.
Michael, why was I met with silence on that, Michael?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was muted for some reason.
Nice.
I was responding. I
What a
He
promise.
jet
took my
move.
thing! He took my thing!
That's her entire identity. The day she
See,
lost
that's-
her identity.
That's how I start the fight with Jet. Is I just become Jet. I'm taking your
Jessica?
spot.
Jessica.
What?
No, I was talking to the other Jessica.
Uh huh.
What did I? How did I
There's
mess
another
this
video
up?
game for you to play, but never actually play. Play the first 2 attacks before we play Great Juju Challenge.
Yeah, I should. There was. I think it was.
I mean, they're really short. You can do both of them in like 10 hours or less.
Yeah, I think it was the first one that I never played because I played the second one because I remember the like the dream levels.
Yeah.
Crap.
They're both about the same levels of good. I think the Great Juju Challenge is probably the best one. I mean, they're like the TAC games are not fantastic, but they're good. They're really
Yeah.
solid, and they just kind of keep that level of solid for the entire trilogy. That'll be a very fun playthrough for us to do sometime. I need to do. I was telling chat the other day. I need to do a playthrough with Slyro.
Like what?
He doesn't do Pixelmon, so me and him haven't collaborated in like ages. I'm thinking that I'm not sure if he'd be down for this, but I'm gonna pitch the idea that we choose a topic relating to anime and do like a top 5 list on it where we discuss it with each other in a video
I
format.
will.
I think that's a
murder.
really good idea. I think that'd blow up.
I think it could really take off. Maybe like since we're doing a top 5, we might call it, and it's our take about that specific thing. I was thinking we might call it Take 5.
I think that is almost as good of an idea as when I came up to do the sand wall.
Alright, I'm gonna
Fuck it, oh,
need.
no.
Anyone want $45,000 to assassinate Chaos?
You could
Yeah.
We will be
definitely-
here
you could
to kill
definitely do
chaos.
that for cheaper.
Very specific amount of money you have ready.
That's all the money I have in my savings. 1, 2,
I'm here to
do it
kill
for
chaos.
10.
4, 5, 6.
Mom says it's my
7,
turn to kill
8.
Chaos. Psychic attack! You can do psychic attacks? I really thought Shroom would be there for me on that one. Shroom dead?
I'm surveying.
He's focused on TNT.
Oh, this guy. Barracuda.
1, 2. Please get out of my way.
This does feel like the OG Pixelmon playthrough where me, Shroom, and Michael were off doing who knows what, usually collecting quartz for RTK, and then he was like suffering for about 7 in-game hours, just making Kami's lookout painstakingly, slowly but perfectly.
Classic. Should go back and rewatch those.
This is the good old days. The good old days.
Oh my goodness. I just realized I missed the 2-year anniversary of meeting you all. That was the 8th
man.
of October.
Oh yeah.
2 whole years. That's crazy.
That was such a crazy way that played out.
Was it really? I feel like probably the most normal thing to happen for people who play video games in 2020 was to meet new people through Among Us.
True.
Man, I miss Among Us.
I do too.
Does everyone but Lone Wolf miss Among Us?
I guess if Lone Wolf is the one that doesn't want to play it.
Lone Wolf doesn't like Among Us, which I can respect. If we wanted to, getting the numbers for it would be rough, but we could always go back and try doing mods.
I'd be down.
I'd be down.
I would never go back to normal Among Us.
No,
though. If we
no,
do Among Us
same.
again,
Yeah,
I would
no,
have
that's
to do
fair.
a mod.
Town of Us mod for sure.
Absolutely.
Maybe proximity chat if it's not buggy.
I don't like proximity chat in Among Us. I
No?
would not be like absolutely never, but I would definitely be like, what if we didn't?
Understandable.
I've watched people play proximity chat and like, I don't know. I feel like proximity chat basically just makes Among Us a completely different game, and I'd rather just play a different game at that point.
Yeah, it's not designed well for proximity chat.
about the new roles that were added? Any thoughts on those, or would it
Oh,
have to be
I
modded?
love all
I don't know what
the.
they did.
Well, they have the Guardian Angel in there. They have some imposter roles.